Hello everybody and welcome to the pre-show. If you joined us right at the beginning of the show, you would have heard the cast and myself debating over a rather interesting topic. Let me get these out of my head, hang on. The topic we were talking about was accents and racism. Quite an interesting set of opinions coming from the different players and obviously from myself, and so yeah, it's an interesting one. Certainly we are currently I should say a player down, and that's because of the changing of the time zones. So some countries in the world have changed because of daylight savings and others haven't. So we're waiting to see if we're going to get one of our players joining in. She might be very surprised when she does sign in that the show is in mid-swing. So just bear that in mind. Some technical wonderments of running an international stream. Bearing in mind, of course, we've got people from Australia and Japan. Myself here in Japan, it's 3:30 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning for Michael in Australia. And then sort of 9 p.m, 8 p.m, 7 p.m. for those in the UK. And then, of course, the US, it's still only lunchtime the day before. So it's all very, very interesting trying to coordinate all of this kind of thing. I think herding cats is probably the best thing I can call it. Anyway, we've got a very fun show for you today. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be absolute chaos, as a matter of fact. The characters have now got their war machine. Now, if you have tuned in to watch the actual live play of the show, that only begins on the hour. So whatever it is for you, it's in about 23 minutes time, give or take. So that's where we're going to be. This is Spoiler Zone. This is where I'm talking about what I have planned for today, what chaos, craziness, and shenanigans are going on. And I think that today specifically is one where we have to reassess where we are in terms of our plans, because we had a plan. I'm going to bring that up and share with you now the actual plan. Here we go. So there is the original plan, where we had joining forces with Zariel. We did that. The siege of Brax Cruel Dach changed because the characters ran away from the location, but we still went through 2 episodes of them exploring Avernus, which, as far as I was concerned, was still helpful in terms of getting them a company of getting them used to what it's like in Avernus. Absolute hell. Then Fort Knucklebone, we did our 2 episodes of Fort Knucklebone, and so we're not doing too badly, but those were supposed to be episodes 4 and 5. We're now on episode 7. So we've spent a little bit of time on Fort Knucklebone. Episode 7 was supposed to be on Harriman's Hill. Now, my original idea was to explore how Zariel fell, how she became corrupted and bent the knee to Bell and to the archdevil himself, Asmodeus, and was corrupted. So that's the journey that we're going on, and I took the plans and themes that were in this book, the actual Descent into Avernus book, as released by Wizards of the Coast, and I was basically saying, okay, well, these are locations that you can actually explore during the book. How did those locations come to be? So Harriman's Hill was supposed to be this hill where this great big betrayal had taken place. You can see there Harriman's last stand, deserters leave and close the portal, and it's the humans' last stand as well. So that was a location that we needed to explore. We are still in the space of being able to explore Harriman's Hill. We only have to drop 1 episode instead of the 2. So we're still fine there. We have betrayal at the Battle of Avernus coming up, so I need to start seeding that. I need to start making that become very apparent, and I've got a few methods to do that. One, I have got now Damnifer. He has made a deal with 2 of the characters, and they have fulfilled that deal. The Mad Maggie cut her own head off and has handed that over. That was, by the way, complete improvisation on my behalf. When Naziah and May seemed to be wanting to fight Mad Maggie on their own, she would have destroyed them. So there was a part of me going, this has been a long session already inside Fort Knucklebone. Do I really want another long combat after Mickey's just happened? Ixtec was down. To me, it felt like it was just going to be another slogfest, and I did not want to do that. So I thought, well, what is the most interesting way in which I can resolve this? Aha, she cuts her own head off. She gives a magical item to May, who has yet to use that blade that she picked up. But why would she cut her own head off? Why would she cut her own head off? And as far as I'm concerned, that allows us the opportunity to say that she's actually made a deal with Damnifer as well, and her deal is that she will be protected during this blood war, and the only way that he can protect her is if she cuts her own head off. So you're going to see where that comes in, depending on where the players go. Now, last week I was hoping that the players were going to give me some kind of indication of where exactly it is that they're heading. And needless to say, I didn't get that, because the players were doing what the players were doing. They had no intention and no requirement, I would say, to have to indicate anything, which is absolutely fine. So yeah, it's an interesting one that we need to figure that out today. Are they going to go to the cathedral? Go back to the cathedral? Are they going to take this war machine and just run? Who knows? All of that kind of stuff is up in the air today. So we're going to play it out as we are going to. In terms of Harriman's Hill is now in the backwater. It's not a concern for me. We're going to spend at least an episode, I would imagine, with this infernal war machine, because it's cool. It's really fun, and we really want to explore that. The players want to kind of get to grips with it as well and figure out how it works. So we're going to do that. We're going to be looking at that. Now, I'm not yet looking at questions and things. I don't know if there are any. Oh, there is a question. There is a question. Okay, so let's have a look at that question that's come through. If you do have questions about my planning or my methodology, or if you want to shout at me, because this is definitely metagaming in terms of what I did there with Maggie herself, let me know. Let's discuss. Let's talk. So Turkey Sloth says, is Extec still with the party? Or are they dead and gone? No, she's still with the party. There wasn't a problem at all. They got to Extec in time. Extec did not die. There were some offers coming through from the Abyss in terms of them wanting to make an alliance with the players, and I felt that that too was also required. You know, when characters drop dead, or when they're in the dying state, I hate it when they're in the dying state. And especially when you're on a stream like this, you know, when a character at a table is knocked unconscious, that player can always get up and wander around and go and get drinks for everybody and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's entirely possible. However, in a live stream like this, it's kind of difficult. It's very awkward. A lot of the guys have got quite complicated setups, so it's not easy for them to move around. So yes, it does become a challenge. So I always try and keep it busy. I always try and have something happen in that space, even if it's a recollection of family members or I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so I try and keep it busy, but sometimes it gets a bit much, and sometimes it gets repetitive when you have multiple characters who are down. So there we are. Anyway, Extec is absolutely fine. Everybody is okay. The only one who's not in the war machine at the moment is Mhaire. She saw it sort of come crashing backwards and then going forwards as dear old Jormund tries to figure this out. Now, this is an old trick, I must admit, that I think many GMs picked up from, I forget completely, I beg your pardon, I forget which book it was from, but the whole idea of the characters having to figure out how to drive this thing left, right, forward, back. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned sort of riddle, and usually the controls are inverted, and especially because this isn't hell, right? So, but I've got one other thing kept away from the players for when they try and drive this thing. This is a war machine. It's an infernal war machine, which means it's got parts of souls infused in it, and it's designed to frustrate and infuriate. So we're going to get there. Okay, next question. White Tiger 225 says, what's your plan this time in the event of a total party wipe? Well, the benefit that we have, and I don't want to say it's a get out of jail free card. If the party dies, their souls will simply rematerialize here, but they will rematerialize as devils. And they will have started their journey on the lowest rung. What I would do is I would allow them to remember who they were beforehand. So instead of getting stuck in the devil cycle, as one might put it, I would have it that suddenly it's, no, you remember that you used to be a hero. You remember that this used to be your calling. You don't have any devil powers yet because you are the basest, lowest little devil that there is. but maybe there's a chance that you can learn or discover how to undevilify yourself, how to get yourself resurrected. So I think that's something that we could certainly look at in terms of that as an approach. That would be something that I would look at, possibly. All right. So what we're going to explore or unpack today. They're going to be driving this war machine. They're going to be engaged in this war machine. Now, if I go to the actual book itself, there's an appendices where it talks about war machines and how they are to be used in the game and how one can use them and those kind of wonderful things, which I really appreciate. Now, there are some rules and things. We using magical items or soul stones. You can use demon echo to boost them up, to speed them up. They've kind of gone the same approach that we had in terms of the ships from Ghosts of Saltmarsh, where the vehicles are actually creatures that the characters are riding. They can take actions as they could in the previous one, in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, so those actions are available. A lot of these I'm going to be not overlooking, but I'm going to be adjusting slightly to make it a little bit more inclusive of our different types of players, more in keeping with what I did with Saltmarsh as well, where yeah, there's more that can possibly happen. Now, one of the things that they did bring in, which I do quite like, is the idea of mishaps. Now, mishaps happen if the Infernal War Machine takes damage from a single source equal to or greater than the mishap threshold. That's a lovely word to say next to each other. Mishap threshold. It must roll on the mishaps table. Now, the mishaps table is here. It's quite extensive. I also have it in Fantasy Grounds. And things are engine flare, fire erupts and burns everyone in the vehicle, locked steering, furnace rupture, the vehicle speed decreases by 30, weapon malfunction, blinding smoke, the helm station fills with smoke, shredding armor, the vehicle's damage threshold is reduced by 10, axle damage, it doesn't have dexterity, it flips over and comes to a dead stop in an unoccupied space. Any unsecured creature holding onto the outside of the vehicle must succeed on a DC 20 saving throw or be thrown off, landing prone in a random unoccupied space, and take 3d6 damage. So there's lots of interesting things that are going to come out of this. So we're going to explore that fully in today's show. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I've just realized I need to bring up something very quickly before the show starts, which is my list of NPC names. Now, we are aware that there was a slight glitch, mind you, slight glitch on the website where you could I'm sorry, I'm just busy setting everything back up again so I don't break it, where the map is concerned. So let's just go and have a look at the map quickly. So we now have 321 votes for the demons. They've got support from somewhere, and only 301 votes for the devils. Demon power, however, their influence is 3 and their power is 3. The devil's influence is 8 and their power is 6. But look at the map. Look at this map. Look at how broken Avernus is at the moment. Now, the devils have very strategically taken control. I don't know why that's doing that. That's still wrong. I got hold of our web goblin and I said, what's the story? They do have more than 5. Anyway, okay, so we'll have to figure this one out. I thought he had fixed it. He said he'd fixed it. He sent me a text saying he'd fixed it. But you know, you never can trust the lesser devils. You really can't. Anyway, so whatever the situation, this is a broken map to begin with, just in terms of this layout. So the characters would still be in demon control territory. Avernus, as far as the numbers are concerned, belong to the to the demons, not to the devils. But the rest, the demons are just taking over, and it makes sense. They've got 20 odd votes more than the devils, which does give them 2 regions more than the other devils would possibly hope to get. So it's an interesting space that we find ourselves in, and yeah, I'll have to double check all these numbers. Is this correct? Yes, demons. Yes, all right, fine, that's correct. 60, 55, yeah. Bleakbore, the devils weren't interested in Bleakbore. So it's only Avernus that's not showing correctly, and I think he said it was because it had got over 100. We never anticipated to get that high. So there we are. I see the demons have had no interest in Vansu, Skarn, or Brightbone. No chance of them taking over Brightbone at any time. I'm just double checking. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, what needs to happen is that these numbers are very, very low in terms of contestation here. 4s and 5. You know, this is 4 demons, 5 demons. I think what it's doing is it's saying, well, it's 7 and it's 5, or it's 0.7 and it's 5. I don't know. We'll have to get him to fix it, but that's the joy of the craziness that is technology. And so yeah, whoa, sorry, that was me on, that was weird. So yeah, that is it. That is the chaos and craziness. Let's see. So a Crazy Catman 789 says, cool, what platform is this? Which platform are you talking about specifically? We use Fantasy Grounds for our dice rolling, for keeping all of our monster stats together, for creating all of our encounters in, for pre-pinning our maps, if that makes sense. So all of that is done in Fantasy Grounds. We use WorldAnvil for collating all of our characters together, getting our character stories together, getting our world background together. And we use Dungeon Fog for creating all of the maps in. That map that you've just seen now, which I can take you back to, it's such a beautiful map. This map underneath these territory controls was drawn by our indomitable player of Thorn, Caeora. He drew this map based on a sketch that I did for him, so it's not a map from the actual book itself. This is Avernus pre the fall of Zariel. So yeah, Caeora put this map together for us. Very, very, very pretty. So yeah, that's where we are there. Now, what else? Any other questions? We've got 8 minutes left. No, I don't think there's a lot coming through. Lots of people joining in. I think the time zones have changed things around. I have never experienced time zones. South Africa doesn't do time zones. When it was introduced in the 50s, they decided it shouldn't be. We're supposed to have different time zones, not time zones, daylight savings. South Africa has vast amounts of sunlight all the time. It's like, well, we don't need to save any of it. We really don't. And we don't even have time zones. We're supposed to have a different time zone in our country, but they decided it's not big enough and it's too much hassle. So the idea of time zones is really warping my mind. And I did not know that Europe and the US have different days on which they shift over on their time zones. For now, we're in the intermediary week, where Europe has shifted and the US has not yet. So that shift happens on Sunday in the US, as far as I understand it. So it's an interesting one. It really is. It keeps one on one's toes. I see all our players are present and accounted for. That makes me super excited. It really does. I hope they've leveled up their characters. They leveled up last week, so that was super exciting. Whilst we are here and everyone is sort of joining in and getting ready for the game, I think it's important that we do a little bit of housekeeping. Next week, there is no Descent into Avernus show. There is no show for Descent into Avernus next week. That is owing to the fact that Dungeons & Dragons will be doing a 24-hour charity live stream. And they said to us, look, would you mind giving up your slot for this 24-hour thing? And there was a big part of me that went, well, why can't you do 2 12-hour live streams with a 2-hour break in between? And I was like, well, actually, it's not that. It's not as impressive as a 24-hour live stream. Anyway, so they're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream, which will take place over the course of the weekend. So that should be a lot of fun to watch. It is for charity, so it should be good. And then the following weekend, I have returned to South Africa, or will be in South Africa at that stage, and so it will be a pre-recorded show played out live. There will be no pre-show GM session, so please bear that in mind, and there will be no afterlife as well. There also isn't going to be an afterlife today, because we're actually recording that game tonight. We're doing a double session, which I'd love to let you see. But we do need to keep that for the, I think it's the 19th I want to say it's not the 19th, it's the 16th of November. So that will be it'll be episode number 8, and it will play out as regular, still 12 p.m. Pacific time. So be aware of that. It will have changed. There just won't be an interaction. If you're sort of wondering why is there no interaction, that is the reason for it. Why am I not doing a live show whilst I'm in South Africa? What gives me that privilege? It's simply a case of, well, to be perfectly honest with you, we're not sure we'd be able to get a stream out, sustainable anyway. There are always risks of power failures and the like that go on, and that also, of course, affects the internet. So we just weren't sure, and we said, well, rather get the show out, make sure that the show actually happens, than spend a sleepless weekend trying to get internet to work and then power suddenly goes off. So we said, no, rather let's do it that way. And yes, after that though, we're back to regular streaming. Episode 9 continues as normal with the live show beforehand and with the post show afterwards. So it's only for 2 weeks that there's a little bit of a disruption. It's only for 1 week that we're off air. The alternative was to be off air for 2 weeks, and I thought, ooh, that might be too much. Anyway, all right, so let's see, what else? Any other questions? Seeing they forgot Pierre, and he's probably now a single masterless skeleton, what are the chances of Pierre and Peppermint joining teams? I do like that, to become, to get revenge on the masters that cruelly abandoned them. I love that idea. I really do. I really, really, really like that idea. Pierre was actually crushed in the tunnel with the cacti. He was following through right at the end, and no one told the cacti to let the undead through, so the cacti closed the tunnel. There was actually a moment, if you watch the episode, where I say you hear this crunching sound behind you, and I think the players just assumed that meant the tunnel closing. It was actually Pierre being crushed underneath the sand and earth. It doesn't mean he's dead necessarily. I mean, undead don't have to breathe or anything like that. He could possibly claw his way out. I think that could be quite fun. So I might actually, the roach, I might actually bring that back, because I do like the idea of Pierre riding Peppermint. I think that could be a lot of fun. So there we are. West River Rat says, like the natives say, only a politician would think of cutting a foot off the bottom of the blanket and sewing it to the top would make it a bigger blanket. Well, okay, cutting the foot of the bottom to sew it to the top would make a bigger blanket. Sure, I suppose. It actually, as someone who has made LARP costumes many times, I can assure you, you lose fabric every time you cut. It's just a thing. It happens. It really does happen. So there we are. Right, 2 minutes to go before the live show. I'm super excited. There is no more 5-minute preamble. We just go straight into the show. So if you are going to grab coffee, as I have here, now is the time to do it. Now is the time to do it. I look forward to it. I'm busy watching my feed from all my players, and there's a green screen which is currently collapsed at the moment. What do you guys think? Just out of curiosity, I see that there's 128 people watching this stream. What do you think of all the stuff? The green screen background, the fireball overlays. Do you think it makes it a more enjoyable experience, or does it not really affect you in the slightest? Is it something that's, oh, it's nice to have, but you actually just listen to the show more than watch the show? I'm very curious. Personal curiosity. I watch different streams, and some streams are completely, they're just people in bedrooms and that sort of thing, streaming as best they can. Others, I mean, obviously you look at the big players, where it's an entire studio set up. We sort of sit in the between somewhere. I see Adamil, one of our moderators in stream. Adamil will be sharing the love tonight. So if you have questions, ask Adamil91 there. Thanks for being in today, Adamil. I haven't seen our regular D&D person into the fray. I haven't seen. So anyway, yeah, it's good feedback. It really adds, says the Roach. Mr. Scream says both. I think it adds to the atmosphere, says Dissolution 79. Like it, got it, why not use it, says Roger B. I do listen more than watch, but I like it, says West River Rat. In my opinion, that natural 20, natural 1 animation is a bit too much. Okay, says Zoe ML. Absolutely. I mean, these are all valid. All valid. Oh, I see. Jack's Not Funny says TK is at GameholeCon, and I hope that TK has an absolute blast there. I'm totally jealous. So, Jack's Not Funny. You're here in their place. Well, Jack's Not Funny, thank you for joining us as a moderator. I really do appreciate it. It's adds atmosphere, says Nibunyan. It adds atmosphere. I watch the stream. Doesn't help when only listening. If you watch the stream, it doesn't help when you're listening. Yeah. So there we are. Okay, it's time for the show. Let us descend into Avernus. And we are all here. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing tonight?
Doing awesome.
Good. Doing good?
I will summon forth Nazaya to join us with the dark incantations of the powers of Avernus.
Yay! There she is. We did it.
And move over slightly. All right, so...
No, go away.
I think I'm just looking at volumes here, and chat, just let us know what the volume is like on everybody. Hopefully everything's coming through. Had some technical issues recently, but anyway, glad to see that you are all here, present and accounted for. Let's go around the table very quickly just to introduce to you if you're new to the stream, and to remind you if you're old to the stream, because if you're old to the stream sometimes memory's not so good, who everybody is.
And very old, it can be hard to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, it's like, oh god, nearly, you know.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? I don't know what they're doing here. Anyway, joining us all the way from Germany is Mhaire. Mhaire, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'll be very glad when we finally ditch some daylight savings time, because because I drove very fast through rain and dark forest to be here in time, because I thought we'd be an hour later. I made it. I'm here. I'm excited. Either we're going to fight a demon army, or we are going to run away as fast as we can today. So yay!
I think it's going to be yes, it's going to be absolute chaos, and yes, sentiments shared on daylight savings time. So,
yes.
So Germany is abandoning daylight savings next year. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. As far as I understand, we're just going to stick with winter time, which is probably the best idea, because that's natural time.
There we go. All right, I like it. I like it. Then from across the globe, in all ways possible, all the way down south from Australia, is Michael. Michael, how are you doing?
G'day, guys. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I think I resonate a little bit with Nazaya, but you know, I mean, if you've seen me on literally any of guys streams, it's always a case of there's a half of me that wants to live to the end of the series, and then the half of me that wants to Steve McQueen my way through an army of demons and ride them into battle on the horns of the Valkyrie. Ah! And guess who's in the driver's seat?
I'm thinking now, you raise a very valid point. I think a lot of people, and I'm actually just looking at those that are sitting around this table, as a matter of fact, who don't even know what you mean when you say Steve McQueen is.
Really?
Well, that movie came out before I was born, but I saw it because I'm a strange person who likes to watch old movies and classic movies. I'm trying to think of an equivalent. And when you think about it, there are so many movies where someone on a motorcycle has ramped over giant aliens, massive exploding ships, cargo containers through the air, over the New York skyline, all of those kinds of things. You go, yeah, but it's not Steve McQueen on a motorcycle going over a little bit of barbed wire, is it?
No.
I mean, you know, that set the tone, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's time to update. We couldn't even update that movie, though, because it still wouldn't be
like
cool.
we said, some
like,
of our friends are very old, and they might understand the words that we speak. I mean, literally, like the Terminator, I guess, or Christian Bale doing Batman. You know, I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Still doesn't have the same resonance, does it?
It doesn't.
Okay, there we are. Chicken Run says MSEC in the chat. It's like, yes, actually, they did rip that off. So, yeah. Wow. Okay, before
we want to
get
chicken
sidetracked.
run it. It doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
This whole stream is now. The stream is what is this generation?
Yeah,
of
what is
Steve
Steve
McQueen?
So there we are. Janet, do you know who Steve McQueen is?
I vaguely know that he is an actor
Yes.
from an era that was previous to our own.
Yes.
He acted in movies.
Wait, he's not from the future.
No, definitely not. And he
like
wasn't
the
in
Terminator.
Back to the Future, or I would know who he was.
There we go. How are you doing, and how is the UK doing now that you've all shifted time zones?
Yeah, we don't know when anything's happening. I was just about to get in the shower when I realized that this stream was an hour earlier and I wasn't going to have time to have a shower. I was literally like going in the shower, like towels at the ready. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, oh no. I just realized something. Crap. So yeah, it's been, but we're all here, which is a freaking miracle. So that's great. I'm very excited. I think Michael might run me over.
Oh yeah.
Great. Oh, and we leveled up. That was fun. So all of our characters have leveled up since last time.
That's true.
So we have new powers.
Yes, new powers.
It's always a great moment as a character to be like, I can do a new thing to screw with the DM, and then the DM's like, I've got your number. I've seen your character sheet. You're like, oh, okay.
All the enemies have leveled up too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Although in truth, let's be honest, those levels don't mean anything to the monsters. Also in the UK, but never looking flustered, must be Caeora. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm incredibly flustered. Yeah, it's been.
Oh, I can see the beard is just going crazy. I mean, that hair.
Yes. I just got out of bed. I was having a nap. You know, I'm all sort of. My hair's all sticking up.
Oh,
it's terrible.
Disaster.
Tomato soup everywhere.
Yeah, I was drinking soup before we started the stream. No, it's great. It's good. I think Thorn is currently unconscious, which is traditional for my characters to start games unconscious. But apart from that, I'm looking forward to driving around in a big car. So yeah.
Should be fun. Absolutely. Someone was asking, is this a live session? That's Maladal. Yes, this is an online live session. We've been working our way around the table. Mhaire is in Germany. Listen to me. I don't know. I need to leave. Can someone else take over DMing? Mhaire is in Germany. Michael is in Australia. Janet and Caeora are in the UK. I am in Japan, in Tokyo. And last but not least is Jenny. Where are you from, Jenny?
I'm from Sweden, Guy.
How are you feeling about today's show?
No, I know you were doing your thing. I was just being facetious. No. Well, I wasn't so flustered by. I mean, I was completely taken by surprise by the daylight savings thing, but I wasn't very flustered because I have anxiety and I like to be 3 hours early to everything. So I've been ready for a while. I'm just like, okay, I'll just join the call now instead of in an hour. So I'm all right. I'm ready to go.
And Ixtech,
good.
Is Ixtech ready to go?
Ixtech rolled last time a natural 20 on understanding this vehicle. So they are planning on learning everything they can about how it works and making sure that as few people as possible in the party learn anything about how it works, because then they will be indispensable and cannot be murdered.
It's a good theory. It's a good theory. as
Well,
we,
that's the thing. They make themselves indispensable. That's how they've survived.
that's true.
You know, you say that, but Yormund has figured out the go forward, go backwards, and go forward super fast.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Huh?
Yeah, that's all I've discovered is how to control this thing.
Maybe it's a very, very special control that is only go forward super fast towards the one missing team member.
Mash the tumbling.
It's the
should.
Would you like
murder
me to
lever.
activate instant
The
kill mode?
murder lever.
The murder lever.
There we are. All right, we are sponsored by the wonderful people that you are seeing down below, and let's start running through them. We've got WorldAnvil, worldanvil.com. If you want to see these crazy characters, I think people have updated their character sheets. We might just have to double check their character sheets, as well as their journey, and the world of Avernus as used in this game is all available on worldanvil.com. World Aggregator, go and have a look. Dungeon Fog supplying us with all of the maps that you'll see in tonight's game, and indeed in every game. Beautiful, beautiful maps from Dungeon Fog. They've just released a new map pack which has a lot to do with smoke and fire, which I particularly like. So you'll see some of those assets coming through. And then Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice. We are not yet in the Fantasy Grounds 2 system. We're still on the original Fantasy Grounds. Fantasy Grounds 2 is now in beta, so that should be very exciting to see how that changes things. Already it's a great program. You'll see all of our encounters and stuff have been built in here, as well as our dice rolls coming through. So look out for that. And the Leather Lair for sponsoring this awesome leather jacket of mine. We'll get leather jackets for everyone else next week. He lied.
Biker
glibly.
riches.
Yeah, spoiler
Biker
alert.
riches.
Bringing us to next week. Was any way I could think of as how to get into next week's conversation. Next week is no show. We do not have a show next week. Dungeons and Dragons is doing a 24-hour live charity stream, and so we will be stepping aside for charity. I think that's what the Devils would do anyway, especially if you know, those running the 24-hour stream had something that they truly desire, which I think in this case is to raise money for the charities, so that's okay. I think that's a good cause. So we won't be on next week, and the week of the 16th we will be a pre-recording, so there won't be very much interactivity. There won't be a pre-game show, and there won't be an afterlife show on that weekend, the weekend of the 16th, for technical reasons. But the show will go on, and then thereafter everything resumes its normal, chaotic, hellish safe. And so there we go. Let us now center ourselves. Let us bring ourselves. I'm going to close all of these distracting windows.
Hey, don't talk about us like that.
Yes, I'm closing all of these distracting windows.
No, guys.
As we journey deep into Avernus, into the fort known as Knucklebone, and even closer into this large war machine. Let's bring it up for all of you to have a look at. We're inside this war machine. I will share it with you folks because I think you don't have it shared anymore. The warm machine, if you don't pronounce it correctly. It certainly will get warm shortly. If you recall, they're inside Fort Knucklebone. Let me move these maps over. That's where the war machine is. And this is where poor little Mhaire is all alone watching this tumultuous beast ramble about. We are in the machine. The horde of demons is approaching. Talk to me. What are your characters doing? We are on Nazaya. You are ready.
Nazaya is holding on, trying not to get to tumble around the insides of the machine as Yormund steers. I don't know if that's the right word. He does things, and the machine responds in some way. So she holds on and tries. If anyone else comes tumbling along, she's trying to go and catch them and secure them. So if we have a rogue X-Tech tumbling down or something like that, I prepare myself to catch them.
You prepare yourself to catch them. All right, lovely. Higher up, a level up, is Jormund. You are at the wheels. You've got 4 clutch or brake controlled levers or levers, however you want to pronounce them, in front of you. One of them you've worked out as forward and reverse. One of them is brake on and brake off. There's two others that you don't know what they do.
Well, I think we should find out what they do.
Give me a perception check, if you please.
Caeora. That is a
Fantasy
7.
Grounds too. I mean, you know, they're just the sponsor of the show.
What
but
am I doing?
I understand. You're a natural
I guess
player. It's like, oh, there's an E20. I got to roll it. Got to roll it. It is an actual psychological effect. It really is.
Fell right into that trap.
Gotta throw the sparkly thing. Make it go clickety clack.
Oh,
That's a 9.
That's a 9. Yeah, you see, Fantasy Grounds had heard that die roll, and now it's on.
That's a 9.
Yeah.
It did.
All right. So yes, which of the levers are you going to? What are you going to do?
Okay, so I've pulled the one on the far left
Uh-huh.
and the one adjacent to that one.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go to the one adjacent to that one.
So-
So not the one on the far right.
Not the furthest right, but sort of middle right, if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one
You
I'm gonna
pull that forward or back?
Backwards. I'm going to pull it.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, as you pull it backwards, if you notice this structure behind you, these 6, 3 on either side, grates, quite heavy grates, all open up and reveal doorways out onto this dark, dark balcony. And I actually needed to lighten that up and I completely forgot. So it's this dark, dark balcony, and on that balcony, for those of you that can turn your monitor brightness up, you'll see there are 4 very large ballista armed and ready to fire.
Ooh.
That's what you're seeing.
Okay, and I imagine doing it the other way will close it.
Clonk, boom. They seal.
Aha, weapons, my favorite. And I guess I'll try the furthest right one, if I can.
The furthest right one, I will. Yeah, you can do that. It's not. It doesn't take up too much time. The furthest right one, you pull that lever forward or backwards.
Backwards first.
As you pull it backwards, the entire metal dome that surrounds this structure slowly grinds with this creaking, ripping, tearing metal sound open, exposing you and everybody here to the environment.
Can I see downwards now that the dome's opened, or is
Yeah, you
am
can
I
see
still...
you can see all of Fort Knucklebone in front of you.
Oh wow. Oh okay. Oh god. I'm going to turn. I'm going to put the brake on, using the second lever.
Okay.
To stop to stop from rolling over my.
Yes. To stop from rolling over my. Let's see if I can find that map. I've got so many maps open here. Yes. And
I'm going to hopefully not run over my.
You
I
don't.
mean, if I do,
Yes.
we can. But you know. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll sort of wave.
I
got it working.
I believe that you're actually having technical difficulties at the moment, Janet. But just pretend. Hopefully they'll come right. Just pretend. If you have to disappear, let me know. But
I will do. Yeah, so you can just move me around the fancy grounds.
sure,
That's fine.
sure. This large behemoth of a thing is looming down on you. It's still about 60 feet away, so you're currently Austin Powers and going, no, no, no. But anyway,
Yeah. May is absolutely going, no, 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 no.
yes, you have watched as the whole dome has opened up, revealing Jormund. You realize that, given the fact that the war machine itself is a sort of black metal with rust all over the place, this very blue-scaled dragon is very prominent up there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's a problem because demon army. So, can he now see the demon army?
He's focused on levers and controllers. He has not noticed. Do you casually look back?
Oh, I know about them. I just ran away from them. Now I'm running away from this. It's a day for running away.
Okay. There's a loud wrenching, ripping sound behind you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you look behind you now?
Yes, I look behind me now.
That titanic flesh spider thing has now reached the main gates of the compound and is now ripping one of the towers out of its roots. Jormund, you now see this, as well as hear it. This mega flesh spider thing ripping out the main tower at the base of the fort.
I look around the sort of front of the steering wheel. You know, is there like a horn or something, like something to like yell into?
Not here, not here.
No?
Coming back to you, Mademoiselle Rouge.
Yeah, since the top of this thing is open, I'm going in. I'm running up to it and I'm climbing the side. I have boots of spiders, so hopefully it won't be too challenging.
No, it's not challenging at all because I'm going to close this map now. As you will see, there are actually rope ladders. Oh, maybe you won't see it, but there are actually rope ladders on the side of this structure, which will allow you to climb up quite easily onto the side, and of course to jump in there. So let me just drag you across there. So you are now standing next to one of the ballista. X-Tech, you are in the engine room down below, and
Yes.
You have watched as this skull, which was open with the energy swirling in it, has now gone dark, and you are literally hearing all of the gears and cogs around you starting to slow down.
Right. Banjo,
Hey!
keep this thing fueled.
He looks from you
Those stones there, put them in this thing here,
Ah!
and make sure it doesn't run out. Yes?
He raises his little hand.
What?
Banjo is this very small red cap with lots of hair sticking out of everywhere. Not that I want to question your amazing abilities to keep this thing running. There's not a lot of stones.
No, I noticed. But we kind of need to get moving. And we can worry about the stones later. Right?
Right.
Unless you'd like to be eaten by a demon army. I mean, we could certainly do that. It could be arranged.
Do you think it would be nasty?
Yes.
Okay, no,
Yes,
then I
think
don't
it
want
would
that.
be nasty.
All right, he goes rushing off. He grabs a
keep it
rock.
fueled.
He rushes over to the skull. He sort of looks at you. He takes the rock. He holds it over the skull.
Yeah, put it in the mouth.
He drops it
Yes.
into the mouth.
Yes.
He rushes back over to the stone pile, picks up another rock, comes rushing back again. Do you do it now?
Sure. Sure.
He
It
drops it
seemed
in.
to run out
There's that
fairly
flaring.
quickly. All right. Well, we got power again. Just keep doing that every. How long did it last the first time, Guy?
The first time it lasted for probably a minute.
Yes. Right.
Off of a little.
Now put one of
little-
those in. Yes, about one a minute. All right. One every minute. Do you know how much a minute is?
I count to 50.
Yes, close enough. Go do that.
Aye. All right. 1, 5, 7.
Okay.
Oh, shh.
How about I just yell at you when you should put one in?
Okay. Great.
Okay. Then I want to go and start figuring out. I want to sort of start exploring and figuring out the rest of the machinery in this place, and sort of figuring out what is where, what does everything look like, and sort of preparing to be able to fix this thing when it inevitably breaks.
All right. That's what you're doing. He is not there, and no one is going to discover him. So I'm going to remove him. And so that brings us... May, you've already acted. You've jumped up onto that ship. Thorn, you are... Although you leveled up, it says that you're not unconscious. But you were unconscious at the last, did it not?
Yeah, I'm unconscious. I'm
Yes,
just
you
lying in a corner wherever somebody put me. I don't know.
are.
Hard to tell, really.
That is exactly what happened. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, roll a percentile for me, please.
Oh. Ooh. Huh?
If you right click on the D10, you can actually select percentile, and then it'll do a percentage. But that's okay. We'll take that as 34.
Oh,
That's all right.
okay.
So that's 34. Oblivion swirls and washes around you. Time has no meaning here, and there is a certain sanctuary and safety in this space. Nazaya, you are trying to hold everybody from rocking and rolling as things go up. But
Didn't seem to be to be important. Everyone seems to be fine apart from Thorn.
yes.
So then she starts clambering up to the upper level, screaming, "We need to pick up Mai!"
Hello.
It's been
Oh.
no, May, you're on a different level to Nazaya completely. So Nazaya, you are correct. You wouldn't know that she's there.
Yeah, I clamber up and then probably see Mai outside on the balcony and go, "Oh, hello, Mai."
All right, so you've gone up to the second level.
Yes.
Not a problem. You are on the second level. I'm just going to drag you up there now. As you've gone up, yes, you can easily see the entire top section is open and exposed, except for the back room to atmosphere. You see these massive demons ripping into Fort Knucklebone. You can see the cacti are fighting back, firing off those spines into random demon. Some demons, you see there's one that sort of rears up in front of this very large cacti, and the entire cactus just shivers, and these needles shoot out at velocity and just rip the demon in half as its spines puncture through it, destroying it in all different directions. It bellows and shrieks, and then it looks like it quivers for a moment, then explodes into this black slime which coats the floor. It actually slops onto that cactus, and you watch as the cactus immediately starts to melt underneath this black sludge as if it was acidic of some kind. May and Jormund, you guys are seeing this as well. That leads us to Jormund. What are you doing?
Jormund sort of begins to very gently almost caress the wheel in front of him. He then turns and looks straight out the window at the horde of the demons. You see this lightning sort of crackling through his body. Let's do this. As he then now that he knows what all the levers does, he's going to pull the lever to try and close the dome, while at the same time, I know I can't see behind me, but kind of remembering where I was standing in Fort Knucklebone, I want to kind of reverse the vehicle so that we are in line with. I don't see the map of Fort Knucklebone at the moment, but
I'll share that
in
with
line.
you. Give me a second here.
Doing this from memory. There we go. So I want to on that map. I want to be having our vehicle on the XY axis, facing towards that gap next to the scrap.
So you're going to try and rotate it. Okay, so you're rotating on the wheel, and then you are pulling which of the levers?
So I'm going to be pulling the far left lever, and I'm going to be putting it. I'm going to be putting it in the reverse position, which I believe was the pushing it forward.
Right.
And then while I do that, I'm also going to be rotating it so that it sort of curves around to angle it.
So you are
with the brake
you are pulling the lever which direction? Forward or backwards? Just to be clear.
Forward.
You are pushing it forward. Okay.
Yes. Forward is what caused it to reverse last time. I wrote it down, guy.
So did I. I'm just double checking, making sure. I'm just double checking. That's what you're doing. Everyone feels this machine rumbling. Ixtec, you see the skull flare as obviously energy is being used to power this thing, get this thing going, get it moving. I am going to add to our little collective pile of monsters and other bits and pieces into our initiative stack a monster of true terror, because this comes sailing down in front of you, Jormund.
Oh.
It is truly, truly horrific. This being of ultimate evil and power. And it is indeed an abyssal chicken that appears directly in front of you.
Like directly in front of me?
Like it lands on the steering column and
Oh
looks
my
around.
God.
Now, I'm
It's
just...
a foul fiend.
It is...
Oh!
It,
Oh!
Genuinely.
Wow!
yes, it is. It is.
Oh
Indeed.
no!
I will
no.
bring up a picture for all of those of you who don't know what an abyssal chicken looks like. Courtesy of Fantasy Grounds and Dungeons and Dragons, there is an
Okay, now
abyssal
that
chicken.
is cute.
Yeah, do you
I think
notice
that's
that the back, this singular horn, actually opens out to becoming a bigger mouth? Just so that you're aware.
It
Yes.
looks like
Just-
it's backwards somehow.
It's a demon.
The head is the butt, and then the other head is also a mouth.
Yes.
It's a thing. It is a thing. And that thing has landed directly in front of you, Jormund. It looks at you and causes us to reroll initiative.
Ooh.
Because now it is a race as we go back to Fort Knucklebone. It's not causing initiative to be rerolled, it's just that we're moving into a different state of initiative. Ixtec, what are you doing?
Ixtec is going to first off try, because you mentioned that I believe that this can be fueled by any kind of magic.
That's your suspicion.
Yes, that is my suspicion. I want to not like full blast, but I want to try to like push some Eldritch Blast into this conduit, into the mouth of this skull thing, engine. I want to basically just shoot some magic in there.
You know, if anyone's watched any of my previous shows, yes, I'm defaulting back to that because it worked. Give me a Constitution saving throw as your magic streams into the open skull.
Oh, I've had encounters with this crap before. Oh, wow. That is not... can I use inspiration to
You
reroll
can?
that? I'd like to. Okay, that's better.
For a moment, as you start to send your magical energy into this machine, you realize that the spell, which is supposed to be this burst, is suddenly being sustained, and your hand starts to feel as if it's terribly old and terribly frail, as the magic within your body is starting to be sucked into this engine itself. But with great personal fortitude, you pull back and manage to sever the magical link.
Ixtec staggers back and then put another stone in there right now.
Okay. Clink. He drops in another stone.
I really want that guy we lost earlier. That mage would have been useful now. Oh well.
Mademoiselle La Rouge?
I can see a large chicken.
You can indeed see a very large chicken. I realized that there was something that Jormund tried to do. Sorry, Jormund, you tried to close that dome, and I forgot to give you the result of that. You push heavily on that lever, trying to close the dome, and May, Nazaya, and yourself, Jormund, you watch as this dome starts to open back up, or close, I should say, to try and seal you back in again.
What?
And it manages to seal all the way over. There is, however, this shower of little bits of rust particulate and dust and salt crystals as these doors reseal. It is not pleasant. Mademoiselle La Rouge, you are on the outside. You are still seeing these demon forces. They don't seem particularly hell-bent on you as much as they are on just destroying Fort Knucklebone completely. So they're busy wrenching towers, walls, and that sort of thing.
And le poulet l'enfer?
Yes.
Où est le poulet d'enfer?
I have no idea what that means.
Where is the infernal chicken? I'm sorry.
I'm very tempted to tell you where that infernal chicken is right now.
Guy!
Pollo Diablo.
Goodness.
I'm really sorry. You mentioned that your parents spoke French to each other, so I was like,
so that we didn't learn and listen and understand what they were saying.
What conversations do you think they had, actually?
Don't worry. So yes, Le Poultry is still next to Jormund.
Okay, so
Poultry of the damned.
It's on the wheel, right?
It is. It's standing right in front of you.
on the wheel, maybe it knows how to steer this thing.
Come, chicken.
Someone needs
ally
to.
yourself with me, and we shall rule this place.
To be honest, Dragonborn is just like a slightly bigger chicken
Yeah, that's true, actually.
without wings. Yeah, you know, like lizards.
Okay, stop talking now. For Michael.
I can see Michael. Michael doesn't look happy. Sorry.
Mademoiselle LaRouche, what are you doing?
So, let me get this straight. I am
Outside.
I'm outside.
Yes, you saw the chicken land on the steering wheel, and then you saw this big metal carapace close over the interior space. So you were on the outside now. There are, however, 3 doors that lead into the interior where you can see Nazaya and Jormund.
Oui, I'm going into the inside, please.
All right.
Didn't Jormund close the doors again?
He didn't close the outer doors. He closed the big dome, which is the entire structure, but from what I remember, the doors are still open. So...
I would like to be inside.
So you are inside, yes?
Bien. If I can attack this chicken, then I will.
You want to try and attack the chicken?
Oui, I attack the chicken.
I understood text the chicken. Can I text the chicken?
Okay. Yes, you can. You can.
LOL.
You can.
Love hot
You
chicken.
can text the chicken as much as you like. Do you have a ranged text, or is it just within 5 feet?
I do, but there is a large dragon in the way.
There is, but thankfully he's an ally.
I will not
so
shoot him in the butt.
you can step in.
Hello, Mike.
This thing is
I
as you step
will
in.
talk about this chicken.
Is it? I thought it was a parrot.
I don't know. Has it said anything back to you?
This large purple tongue covered in spines now moves from out of its tongue, testing the air, if you like, and its large cone-like body suddenly splits open, drooling and dribbling mucus out over its form, revealing tracts and tracts of teeth, shark-like, that run along the length of its spine.
Right. I am going to cast Blinding Smite. I am done with this. I am done with all this disgustingness. I am done. So, Rapier, Blinding Smite.
Make your attack.
I attack. And it is a sneaky attack, for I am within 5 feet of my friend.
Are.
Oui.
This thing just big mouth means more kisses. That's all I'm saying.
Big teeth
It's
means
just
more
a little baby
extra friendly kisses.
with lots of big kisses for everyone.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Go. Okay, let the damage commence.
Just drop the damage on the chicken.
Things we say in D&D.
Drop the damage.
Drop
on
the
chicken.
damage on that chicken.
Okay, so this is going to be damage in several parts.
Hopefully.
That is my first damage.
Instant
But,
death.
Oh,
You.
instant death.
How do you kill this chicken?
No, there is more death to be had. I have so much more to share.
Oh.
I also deal 3d8 smitey blindy damage. Damn it, this window is not going well. I'm sorry.
It's already dead.
It's very
Stop.
dead.
More
It's
dead.
dead. Make her stop.
It's already dead.
I'm having so many issues here. I'm so sorry. My computer's really just had a moment.
It is dead. It's now very,
I
very
want it
dead.
more dead.
I know, but
You keep stabbing the dead thing.
You do. And
It's burning. I'm burning it. We now have a cooked chicken.
You do have roast chicken. And that is how Alfonso died. This tragic murder on a vehicle by an unknown assailant ended the Abyssal Chicken's life forever. Find out more when we return. So, yes, Alfonso is dead. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Oh, wait. The chicken had a name.
Yes.
Press F in chat, please. F's in chat, everyone.
F's in chat. Yormund has a moment where he's holding the steering wheel and all of a sudden he's just like...
To be fair, I also cooked it. You're welcome.
I taste a little, like...
Oh, no.
Tastes... Does Jormund prefer roast lamb or roast beef or roast chicken?
100% roast lamb. I mean, for the discerning palate, it has to be roast lamb.
It tastes very much like roast lamb. Ooh. Perhaps with a little bit of gravy on the side, a touch of mint, perhaps. Just this ever so delicate touch of mint. Ooh. Yeah. Sorry, that's bringing back memories. Okay, so there we go. That's what it tastes like to you.
Worth it.
Nazaya, what are you doing while this culinary treat is going on?
She's going, ugh, in the background.
There are walls now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then she's sidling up to Mhaire, looking forward. So, now that you've killed this monster, what are we going to do about that monster? This one, the spider hand eye.
But the monster inside is dead, so now I suggest we run away from the monster.
You watch as that gigantic flesh spider suddenly rips the roof off of that building where Mad Maggie was based.
Go out.
Okay. Thorn, percentile roll, please.
Backseat driving.
Backseat driving. Pull that one. No, pull that one.
I swear to God, I will turn this infernal engine around.
We haven't even gone anywhere yet.
Thorn, you are still in eternal oblivion. Thank you for playing. I really do appreciate your contribution.
That's all right. I'm having fun. It's fine.
As long as you're having fun, I mean, that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Jormund Fax, Galliandra, please do your thing.
I will very forcefully thrust the lever backwards for the acceleration, and then disable the brake, and prepare to basically bash through the spiked gate next to the junk pile.
So this is actually no. Wait, this is what I wanted to ask. Have you looked at the map of Fort Knucklebone?
I have.
Have you looked at the orientation that you agreed to?
Yes. Wait.
And you have emphatically repeated multiple times that you have put the vehicle into reverse.
Yes, no. And so what I'm doing, because I had the brake on when I was turning into reverse, it was just to orientate it.
Aha. Okay, so now
now I'm pushing it into the forward motion,
which is putting the lever in which direction?
Which is pushing the lever in the far left lever in reverse, in the backwards.
Backwards. Right, you are, and then you release the brake.
Yeah. Now you see that little bit of ship that's in the junk pile.
Yes. I believe
I'm
he's
going to try
to this.
Yes, I'm going to try and ride the keel on that.
My God.
Ride the keel. Okay, I need to go and add something into my book quickly. Ride the keel. You are going to try and ride the keel. I like that. So.
Oh no.
On a slightly side note to the audience, if anyone is in Guys How to Be a Great GM Discord channel, I've actually started a nice little playlist of music that you might want to turn to right now as we try this. Just saying, putting that out there.
Yes, that playlist. That playlist.
What did you put in there?
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of like appropriate songs for riding.
Question: Is this now more like than the dramatic, epic Mad Maxy kind of thing, or are we going to get the Benny Hill theme?
This is Steve McQueen. That's what it is. This is my Steve McQueen moment.
Okay, your Steve McQueen moment requires you to please give me an intelligence check.
Oh no.
I'm not unintelligent. What was that about? Actually, I'm not that great. Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Right.
Detonate!
You release the brake. Everybody has this surge as the engine has been building power, and the vehicle rockets forward towards the keel of this ship. The pilot believes that if he hits it straight on, he will go over. The question is, does the keel believe that?
Does the keel roll an intelligence check?
The keel passes its strength saving throw. So as the ram head of this vehicle slams into it, because of the curvature, you are quite correct, the vehicle suddenly starts an upwards motion. Everybody needs to give me dexterity saving throws, please.
I
And
knew
Thorn,
it.
you give me one with disadvantage. No one tied you down, I think.
No.
Maya and Nazaya, you get a +3 from this for my aura of protection.
Well, Mademoiselle de Rouge does not care.
I am very dexterous.
Nazaya does not care. Ixtec cares.
No,
Ixtec is very
Thorn!
upset.
Thorn!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Thorn
You're
gets a
dead. How can
natural
you get a
one.
natural one when you're dead?
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And Jormund, the driver, is not any longer.
Oh
You're in the slider.
As you go everywhere. The vehicle now has to make a, I'm going to say this is definitely an acrobatics check. So the vehicle is going to make an acrobatics check, and this will determine whether you go over the junk pile or straight into it. And we'll see what happens. So here we go. Dexterity saving throw for the vehicle. It gets a 10, which is just enough. Just enough to scrape its way over and through to the other side. Okay, it scrapes its way over to the other side of the junk pile. However, it will take considerable landing damage as it is not designed for aerial flight.
no!
So it takes 23 damage. I'm going to give it some wounds here as it lands badly. There's crunching, there's wrenching, there's ripping, there's bits of paneling ripping out. Because this is like a franchise that we don't have the rights to, a random console explodes with sparks and bits of rock fall down because that's what we build things out of. So yeah, you've got it all shaking your chair as you're bouncing around on this thing. Yeah, because it's what happened. There we go, everyone's doing it. Lovely. As this thing collapses, lands and continues forward. Yes, well, Nazaya and Mhaire are really, they're just riding this wave, I reckon. Looking super cool about that. Yeah, so Thorn, you are now in the death state again, in the dying state.
Oh no!
Don't worry, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, everyone who failed their saving throw, you each take 5 points of damage.
I don't got you.
No, you don't.
I do not got him.
You don't. You were dying too.
I am also dying.
What are you doing? I should have stayed down there.
26 wounds, okay?
You were barely back. I'm going to add your wounds to you, Michael.
I already added the wounds.
Oh, you did? Oh, all right, yeah. I'll take you back. Wait, you do
I'm going to stop. I'm going to just...
Yeah. All right.
I was trying to be helpful.
We're going to go... Well, yes, Mhaire?
Can I go back to the I'm trying to catch people who are tumbling past me
Yes,
and
you can.
trying and grab onto Jormund before he hits something?
Someone.
Well, yes, Jormund, you can absolutely give me a reflex saving throw, dexterity saving throw.
Sure. I will re-roll that. I've got one last re-roll in my my ring, my magical ring for this.
That's enough.
With a +3.
That's enough. So I will reduce the damage all the way down.
Oh, great.
I'm grabbing hold of a scaly scruff.
Thank you, Nazaya. All right.
Oh.
I think I've got this up here. Check on the others.
All right.
I think I heard someone scream down there.
Ixtech.
Yeah, what's up?
It didn't do a death saving throw.
Not you.
Why not? Why
No,
not? Why not?
maybe it's learned that I just stabilize.
You
now.
just stabilize. You do.
I know. I mean,
do.
I'm on
I need-
31 wounds out of 31. Is
Yeah,
that?
it doesn't go into the negatives. It doesn't reflect the negatives. But
Yeah, fair.
all right. So I need you to please give me a survival check.
Survival check.
Yep.
Okay.
A survival
no.
check.
Oh. Oh.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. That's absolutely fine. Nothing seems to be the problem. Everything's fine here.
Oh, good.
You're still dying, but everything's fine here. Well, you're stabilized. Mademoiselle Rouge, you have watched as Lair poultry lamb thing has now sailed across the room and exploded into little bits of roast meat. Yes, the vehicle is now careening forward at speed towards large crystal-like structures. Although Naziah certainly did catch Jormund, he's not steering anymore. He was wrenched free of that. So what are you doing, Mademoiselle Rouge?
Is there a direction thing, or is it just levers?
It's just
a
levers
wheel.
and a steering wheel. There is a steering wheel.
It's a steering wheel.
Yes, there is.
Okay. Let's do a quick one of these, just to see how intelligent I really am. I guess this would be
What are you trying to do?
straight intelligence. I'm just trying to see if I've never seen an automobile before because
Right.
we're in a fantasy universe. So I'm trying to figure out if I can figure out
Ship's
that
wheel, that sort of
wheel,
thing. Yep,
the
absolutely.
ship's wheel
Yep,
will
give me
make
an
it go.
intelligence check. I like it.
Where am I? I can't find myself. Oh, there I am. That's nice. You get extra songs while I try and find things. I know
There you
stuff.
You know stuff indeed. Yeah, the wheel looks to be a standard ship's wheel, as a matter of fact. It does have the name Prime Water written on the centre of it. But yes, it does look like a standard ship's wheel.
In that case,
Left is right and right is left. Yes, that's a correct assumption.
bien, I am going to try to steer us in the direction of the away from the demons. And if possible, the direction of towards the devil who is waiting for ahead.
All right. So you pull hard on the wheel, and the massive engine smashes through some of these salt crystals, shattering them. As each one is shattered, you just hear this insufferable crying of people, the lamentations of the forlorn and the lost, as you careen through this valley of salt towards your target. Well, hopefully intended target. Naziah, from where you are standing, you can see that demon army has stopped ripping into the structures, and that giant flesh-like spider, you think, has turned and is now watching as your little vehicle has sailed over the edge, and it now seems to be starting to lumber after the ship thing.
Jormund, we should go to you go fast. I go downstairs. The thing's coming. And then Naziah turns around and rushes downstairs.
Yes, you get downstairs.
It's kind of remembering. Ooh, there was Thorn, a very reduced Thorn, mostly head Thorn, lying around, and he's probably bouncing around the hold at the moment.
He sadly is, and just sort of dribbling sap everywhere. It's very unseemly.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
No, yeah, Naziah tries to catch him
Easy
and
enough.
cradle him.
Love him.
Yeah, as I understood, Thorn was mostly chipped and burnt away, so there's a head and like a little bit of a torso and a few limbs.
That's it. It is like it's like holding a plant that hasn't been watered in a week. It's all limp and floppy and soppy. Yeah.
Do we have water somewhere?
You look around this metal encased shell that's busy rumbling. There's this gearing sound all around you. It doesn't appear to be any water.
There is this kind of living quarters to the front.
Yes. You want to go and explore those?
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna
You're going to go and explore the...
take Thorn with me. Yes.
Taking your very dead plant with you. Dead plant, there's your saving
It's like
throw. It's
Leon.
a success. 1 success. Very nice. Give me a percentile roll.
Sure, yeah.
No, a professional assassin carrying a sad plant around. It's like Leon, basically.
It's pretty much like Leon, yeah.
That's higher,
Yes.
right?
It is higher. It is higher. You're in this dream all of a sudden, and you're walking through forests of these cacti with their giant spines, and each one of them is whispering something, but you can't quite make it out. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Still difficult. Just can't make it out because they're whispering it, but their spines are all rubbing against each other. There's obviously a breeze, and it's muddling up everything, so it's difficult to hear what's going on. But they're definitely trying to say something to you as you pass through them. From the back of the ship, Nazaya, you hear this bizarre sucking, slurping, wet sound. Do you look up?
Yes.
It
I'm looking up,
appears
one hand on my weapon.
That Banjo
other hand
is trying
around.
to give Ixtec the kiss of life.
Oh no.
The kiss of life or just a kiss?
Oh no.
Not
What's going
entirely
on there?
sure. Not entirely sure, but there's definitely way too much. There's things in things. It's nasty, and there's hair everywhere.
Hey, monster!
He looks up. Yeah,
What are you doing?
Vibing us.
I'm trying to bring her back to life.
Like that?
Yay! She ain't breathing, so I thought I'd breathe for her.
Yes, I am.
No. They usually just stabilize. They have this. They have this amulet. Just leave them alone. We need German down here, but we also need German up there. Ah! This is frustrating. You keep your tongue out of their mouth. And is there any water here?
Oh, hi! There's a barrel right in front of you, just down there. Are you sure? Because I would hate for Ixtec to die.
Aw.
It's
Yes,
a
me
sacrifice
too.
I'm willing to make. No?
You wouldn't like to. Everyone would like to kiss Ixtec. Have you looked at their lips?
Aye.
Do whatever. Water. I need water. Nazaya is completely overwhelmed with the situation.
Back on top of this craft, Jormund, you've stabilized a little bit as you are no longer falling all over the place. You can see out of the open doors this large flesh spider. It's got a funny sort of lope to its shape now. Its 8 very fleshy legs now all seem to be moving in a bizarre kind of gait, which seems to be building up speed. You can see May holding onto the wheel, frantically trying to guide this craft. Looks like she knows exactly what she's doing. What are you doing?
Jormund takes a moment and has a look at Mhaire. Have you got this?
We, of course. Oh, honestly, you said like it's difficult or something.
All right. Just as a quick player question, since we leveled up since last time,
Yes.
because I spent all of my lay on
Only
hands
once you've
last
had
time.
a rest will you have
Yeah,
the ability
okay.
to access your new superpowers.
Alas! All right. Well, I have no ability to heal the injured. I am going over here to this very large pointed crossbow-like thing, which I know is a siege weapon known as a ballista. I tell Mhaire, head for the. I basically try and point out into the desert in the direction we're going, for ideally a place that is somewhat occupied by those large shards.
Because
I don't want us to
crashing
go
through them
across
now.
Yeah, I don't want us to go through the clear desert because I want this thing to hopefully be, kind of having a deal and weave through these things as well. Which side will be facing the towards the creature?
Sadly, none of them, as the creature is behind you.
Is there any way to get? Is there any way to climb up onto the roof of this the machine?
Absolutely, it's a ragtag jumble of metal. You can quite easily get up onto the roof.
All right. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeoman's gonna head out and try to get up onto the roof so I can get a bead on this large thing.
Okay. As you get to the top of the roof, you can see that this lumbering thing, it's getting faster and faster, and on top of it is this host of other demon-like creatures. With some of them got pig snouts, some of them got sort of 5 or 6 elephant trunks. Some have got 3 arms, 3 legs, tails coming out of ears, all kinds of weird and wonderful and misshapen forms. Seem to be riding on top of this thing. One of them is holding a lance, completely useless. The lance is 6 foot long, and they are 40 foot above the ground, but it's holding it sort of as if it's riding directly towards its intended target. That's what you're seeing from up there.
Cool. My second action, I'll just move to the very, very back. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
X-Tech, in your darkness, you are about to be destroyed.
No, I was really hoping that this would take longer. It's been, what, 3 minutes? 4?
An eternity and nothing.
Yes, I'm sure. Look, I appreciate you coming to me like this. It's certainly good timing. But I'm not willing to sign away my life and soul and everything at the moment. I have prior engagements, if you could call it that. But I would certainly be up for a little bit of quid pro quo, if you are.
You should know. The one who brought you here.
Mm-hmm.
They have joined us.
What? The Celestial?
There was no choice. We overran them as we will overrun you.
Oh, you took the cathedral and you absorbed everyone there?
As we will with all things.
Well, I'm still not ready to, flip.
Then you will meet oblivion for all eternity, and be ours anyway.
Really? This is an all or nothing situation for you? You wouldn't like to have a vassal if you just take a slight middle step in between first?
State your proposal.
Right. I do you some kind of favor. I honestly don't know what you want here. You seem a little vague, if I'm to be perfectly honest. And you, since you are obviously able to do so, whenever I come here, you kick me back up. How does that sound? Or how about the next 5 times I come back here, you kick me back up, and I do you some kind of favor in return? And then...
Destroy the devil Damnifer.
Really? I'm not quite sure I can.
Those are the terms of our proposal. You must choose quickly.
Fine.
The terms are agreed.
Fine.
May? You are steering this vehicle you have been instructed by your commander-in-chief.
Nah.
Keep in the rocks. Is that your intent?
Does that make sense, considering
It's tricky.
where everything is?
Looking out in front of you, you can see these gigantic crystal shards, but they do run out quite quickly. And there's this large open stretch of the plains that you know about. You cross them. So in order to keep it in the shards, you're going to have to veer left or right. Right, you think, takes you to where the bulk of the demon horde is. Left takes you into unknown territory. In which direction, you have no idea, whether it's north, east, south, or west. That doesn't seem to have any relevance here. But it does take you back into those crystals. There is a slight challenge, however. Navigating these crystals is not easy.
The creature is fleshy.
It is
The crystals are
spiky.
sharp.
Oh, they are indeed. Yes.
So if I were to somehow break the crystals, that might make the ground relatively impassable for Mr. Squidgy.
It might indeed, yes.
Eh.
Avernus, Mr. Squidgy.
I just can't help myself. There's always a Mr. Squidgy.
Mr. Squidgy Jr.
That doesn't look like a junior.
So what you doing?
Well, I'm thinking about my thaumaturgy cantrip and how I can create ground quakes with it.
You don't think that they would be, that your cantrip would be powerful enough to shatter one of these crystals? I mean, some of these crystals, I mean, it depends on the size of the crystal you're trying to shatter. Right. But in order to be effective against a 60-foot high gigantic demon, you would probably have to take out one of the bigger ones, as in one of the ones that's probably the same size as this giant metal tank that you're in.
Right, the cantrip's not going to do that. All right. In that case, I shout back to Mr. Beef Mitts behind me. Is there a go faster button?
He sadly cannot hear you. He's outside on the roof.
Oh yes, I remember. Getting tetanus. D'accord. In that case, I am going to go for the spiky crystals that go je ne sais quoi, but at least away from the certain death army that is behind me.
Please, would you give me an acrobatics check as you veer into this spiky field? The helm is quite responsive now, you start to realise.
Yeah.
Everybody inside the vehicle, and this includes you on top, Jormund, you start to feel this pull, and then the sudden throw, and then this pull again, as the vehicle is weaving between crystals, backwards and forwards. Jormund, from your top roof position, the wind is whipping your scales up into quite a crazy little frizz, but you could see these massive shards of ice, almost like icebergs, whipping past you as the vehicle seems to be getting faster and faster. And
I'm quite enjoying this.
yes, at the moment, the crystals, as they whip past, they're making this sort of low-level sound as the vehicle seems to get very close to them, but does not hit them. Does not hit them as the expert driver continues down below deck. Nazaya, you are searching around for water of some kind. Indeed, at the back here, there are a few very crude pallets, beds, and there are some barrels, and thankfully, inside one of the barrels is what you think is water.
Then I'm grabbing one of the pillowcases, whatever it is, the thing that's at the head of the bed.
It was a blanket once, yeah. Pillow
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I drench it in whatever is in there, and then I'm going to make a little moist nest for the remains of Thorn.
Aww.
And wedge him there in the corner so he won't roll around next time we do something weird.
Yes, Thorn?
What happens to my fiery embers at this point?
Probably
The steam.
Yeah, there's this sort of steaming, moist form.
Trying to put me out.
I'm going to get you to please give me a medicine check, Nazaya.
This is probably
Oh
not
no!
Or nature.
No,
That's
this
drowning.
is medicine. This is a medicine
Yeah,
check.
yeah, fair
We're
enough.
going to see what
We did
happens
argue
here.
if it was medicine or
There
nature.
you go.
Oh,
Thorn,
Ooh.
you are doused in this substance, whatever it is. You, as you are listening to the cacti, you're like, I know what they're saying something. They're saying something, and as you work it out, the only word you hear is revenge. As your eyes creak open, and there is a very concerned Nazai. You've been restored to 2 hit points due to the tremendous efforts of Nazai to make you safe and comfortable.
He's a plant. I gave him water.
You did. You did. Yeah, you did. So, Thorn, what are you doing?
That isn't water.
I cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Hey.
You immediately sort of start casting Cure Wounds on yourself. All right. Restore yourself as best you can.
Can I just put Cure Wounds on my token?
Yes, you
Does
can.
that work?
I believe
Yes.
that's how it works.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So that's what you're doing. You restore 7 hit points to yourself.
Yep.
Does that mean
As this happens, like I start to glow slightly with more sort of embers, and my limbs start to go. I'm like, oh, whoa,
Desire steps away.
what? This thing really smells. What is this? What is this water? Did you try and put me in water?
Yes. Your tree.
Yeah,
Fun!
but it's okay. It's fine. Thank you very much for the assistance. Thank you.
What should I do next time?
You know, I don't really know. It doesn't seem to happen very much, but
Throw him in the furnace.
maybe just do it again. I don't know. It's fine.
You're welcome.
So since I'm not allowed to kiss our engineer anymore, anyone going to come and, you know, bring them back to life? Because they kind of need to tell me what to do.
Yeah, you just wait until it's my turn. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, all right.
Then I'm going to try and help them.
Fine.
And you keep doing what they last told you to do.
Wait.
Wasn't that like about dropping stones?
Oh,
something.
I drop stones, you watch. He rushes off and you hear clink. Clink.
Where the hell are we?
You are inside a giant metal cavern as far as you're concerned. Jormund, up on the roof.
Right, so Yormund stands on the back of the infernal engine,
Yes.
with the large shards of salt that's sort of whizzing past. Yormund doesn't even look back, so he's basically careening while facing the rear of the infernal engine. He has
Yes.
complete faith in my driving skills, and he basically folds his arms, like sort of standing with his imposing figure. You know, the sort of top of his sort of tattered mantle sort of blowing in the wind. I'm going to ready an action.
Okay.
Should any creature come within 30 foot of the rear of the engine.
Okay. What is your action?
Conquering Presence, which will hopefully scare anything that comes within 30 foot away, including like the things on top of this spidery, spindly thingy, Mabubi.
Sorry, let me send you. Okay, Conquering Presence. Anything that gets closer. That gigantic spider thing is definitely getting closer to you. Ixtec, you suddenly wake up.
Yay!
However, I want... Who can see you? Oh, he can. All right, so he's anyone who can see you. Give me a second here. Oh! You look awful! And look! He says as he drops another rock into the open skull.
Ixtec sort of sits up, sort of eyes glowing, and this like lightning sparking between their fingers. And they go, "Well, I'm not doing so great right now."
But we both agree that it was my breath of life that saved you.
You're what?
I was just saying that we have got less rocks about.
You want me to shove you in there?
No.
Because I might?
No. You need me?
God.
I've got to put the rocks... Oh.
Istek is gonna get up and try to find some kind of hook or something like that. Like
there are
a
many
hook
chains
thing.
with
Yeah.
barbed hooks in this place.
Basically, what I want to do is tie something around my waist that I can then, with like a thing, and then I can hook it to whatever I'm near, so that I'm not necessarily thrown everywhere the next time
Makes
the
sense.
vehicle rolls. So I
Perfectly
just
easy.
want to like anchor myself, and then I can move it whenever I move.
Within this room,
Yes.
yes, absolutely fine. Absolutely.
Yes, but I mean, I can unhook myself and then go to other rooms.
yes, correct.
Yes, I'm not going to tie myself down here.
No.
But
Got a
yes.
kitty leash on Ixtec.
Yay!
All right, it takes
More-
you some time to organise that, but yes, you are sorted. Mademoiselle LaRouche, do you continue on this crazy journey through the ice shards? Salt
I
shards?
do.
You do?
Does it appear to be working? As they close the bed?
You can't see the creature because the dome above you is closed and you only have a forward-facing window.
Well, in that case, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing because I have no choice. If I can make this thing faster, I will make this thing faster. But
There
I don't
are
know
4
what...
levers in front of you.
Yes, but I don't know what they do.
Okay.
I do not think now is the time for experimentation.
Aha! Ah oui. You give me an athletics check, please. Acrobatics check as you continue to swerve this vehicle through these shards
La, 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 la.
with
18.
grace and style. You swerve between the two of them. You spin the vehicle round. You realize that if you roll the wheel all the way over to the extreme side and lock it, the back wheels continue to spin while the forward wheels basically act like an anchor. And this whole thing does a 90-degree buck and turn and then continues around this very large thing. Jorman, from the back, you are watching the landscape do unnaturally crazy things as someone is driving this tank like an absolute racing car driver. This thing is doing things it shouldn't do as far as you're concerned as it flips around. The giant spider behind you gets to make a dexterity saving throw to see if we can keep up.
Merde.
And sadly, it can.
It's got so many legs.
It does indeed, although it does seem, I'm going to give it some damage for moving through the ice shards as fast as it possibly can. It does take 12 points of damage as it's trying to do this. I will now drop it into shot. I just need to change the size of the token a little bit.
Yeah.
So it has now landed directly behind you.
Oh no!
I
Nope,
can't
nope,
actually
nope,
move it off of the map. It's too big. So I'm going to shrink it down again. Its mouth opens up and you just see teeth and tongue and gaping maw, plus all the things on its back. And even though the wind is whipping around you and all those crystals are screaming past you, you can hear the beasts on its back all shouting. It's a crazy mix of screaming and shouting.
so-
Molochian.
So it comes within the 30 foot.
It does.
So my ready action goes off.
It does. What
Excellent.
happens?
So Yorman sort of sees this creature as it sort of lumbers forward and hears all of those creatures are like sort of kittering and yelling and shouting on its back. As he does, Yorman sort of takes a deep breath in through his nostrils. And as he does, he goes...
Interesting.
Nice.
And I'm going to use Conquering Presence. So all of them need to make me a wisdom saving throw against fear, if that matters.
Okay. I am just busy double checking here what these things can
Now,
do.
guys,
It has
250 saving.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
250 roll.
So it has. This is a spell or magical effect. Yes.
It's my divine
Alright,
channeling
so it has
thing.
advantage. All right. Wisdom saving throw. You say
Wisdom saving throw. Yes.
it needs to defeat a what?
It needs to defeat a 12.
The spider is unfazed by your performance. The rest of them, however, this is a collective roll. I will roll for 20 of them, or 40 of them, doesn't matter. So there we are. There's a whole bunch of rolls, and some of them pass, some of them fail. The ones that fail turn and try and leap off of the back of the spider. But you realize that as they leap, their feet or tendrils or body parts, part of it is actually one with this gigantic flesh spider. So as they leap away, they kind of get pulled back, but then you see them flailing as they then get pulled into this creature and get completely absorbed by it. And for a while you see the flesh still moving as obviously the creature's still alive underneath, and then it eventually calms and quietens down as
Delightful.
that happens. Yes, so that's your effect that's gone off. It has now just got to the point where it is on top of you in terms of being able to make its attacks and things, so it does not do anything else this round. Nazaya downstairs.
She has put Thorn down in some place where he can recover.
Hopefully.
Yeah. She gives a quick glance towards Ixtec.
Ixtec looks angry.
Give me a perception check.
Me or Ixtec?
You.
You. Fine. Perception. There you are.
I have a feeling that there's something wrong.
I don't think I see it.
No, Ixtec looks to be in their element. Busy telling the little red dwarf gnome thing what to do.
You fine? I take that as a yes.
See her finger.
Nazaya.
It wasn't that finger. It was just this to sort of,
Yeah.
don't test me right now, finger.
Yes. Nazaya just goes, you're moving. That's good. I think I'm needed up there. I heard something, and then we probably hear the screaming and gibbering and everything outside. We might, need the blasting.
Right. I'll be there. I might be able to do something about this. I'll be
Very good.
up.
Good. Then Nazaya, instead of rushing upstairs, helps Ixtec up and to the stairs. That's what I'm doing.
You're gonna rush over to Ixtec? Okay.
Very pleasant. Thank you.
Alright, you rush over to Ixtec.
I'm here. I'm just carrying half the crew around.
What did you do on the mission? I carried people. What, emotionally? No, physically.
Yes.
Carry the whole mission.
Yes. No, Nasaya's carrying us.
I'm the
Hard
carry.
Thorn,
Oh,
ex-carried.
Where are we? Hey.
Inside this gigantic roaring cave of metal.
What? Where are we? What the hell is going on?
You want to tell him, Ixtec?
We're inside the infernal machine.
Right. Okay.
We're escaping from the demon army.
Right. Are you?
And what's worse, May is steering.
She'll be
Can
fine.
I roll perception to see if Ixtec is hurt?
Yes, please.
Very
Sorry,
hurt.
Yes, you should have rolled perception. She's fine. Totally healthy. Couldn't be better.
What? No. Oh well, whatever.
Okay.
She's slightly wounded. No, she's slightly wounded, but
Yeah, I'm a bit wounded.
yeah, it's difficult to tell. It's low light in here. It's smoky. It's grindy. There's bits of metal flaking off from the ceiling. It's not a happy environment.
Okay. I guess I lumber over to where they're all standing.
Okay.
And,
Hey, what we doing?
So, who the hell are you?
Uh,
I point at Banjo.
my name's Banjo, and I certainly was not involved in felling you.
He's useful for now. That's what he is.
Wait a minute.
I can't. I've got work to do, sorry. He says as he rushes over and really examines a little rock in the corner of the room.
Thorn is going to stand there quietly, trying to figure out whether or not this is the one that was hitting him in the back.
They did all kind of look the same to you, though, because they were all wearing these sort of red, coppery, sort of dark brown hats. And from your vantage point, that, yeah, could
like
be.
the gears in Thorn's head are turning very slowly. Going,
All right, that's what you're doing. Back up onto the roof, Jormund. You face this titanic creature alone. Except that because of Mai's swinging, the entire thing is now behind you, or next to you, I should say, on the side.
Oh,
That is
that's a lot of nope.
and horrifying.
All right, so Yormund very quickly moves 5, 10, 15 over to the side that it's facing. Sort of dropping down his chains of spikes and swords, as he then begins to sort of swing them forward and create like these sparks and clashes. I'm going to attempt, and laugh at me if you will, I'm going to attempt to intimidate this creature with a display. So it's more like kind of the lion taming type thing, where it's like, yeah,
Bad spider.
Down!
a giant demon spider.
Okay.
Down at the tiny ant that's just doing this.
Yes.
And I'm gonna move a little bit closer too. So I'm trying to stay within 10 foot of it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it has to roll a perception check first to see if it sees the intimidation attempt.
So what is the effect of your display of power?
Okay. Full disclosure. I intend to try and make it afraid of me, even a little.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Because any creature that's afraid of me, their movement speed while they're within 10 foot of me suddenly drops to 0.
Nice.
Ooh.
So if that drops to 0 and we're still going at speed,
Yes.
we have some distance.
Should have, yes.
All right, so... Yeah. Nope. That
You
didn't
know
work.
what they say about spiders? They're more afraid of you than you are of them.
That's what I'm hoping for. 25!
Ooh.
25.
Holy moly!
It would probably be that. 28.
Oh,
For a very small
Wow.
moment, in its little constellation of nerve endings that constitute its brain, there was a quiver. There was a little clenching of a sphincter somewhere, but that has not resulted in an overall effect of terror.
Damn.
a clenched spider sphincter,
Yes,
everyone.
I'm talking about the upper sphincter of its gastrointestinal tract.
Of course.
Yes, of course. So yes, for a moment it doesn't do anything. You watch Jormund as you do this display, and its massive maw just opens up, easily 10 foot high. This huge mouth suddenly moves towards you. You doing anything else aside from your intimidation? You moved and you intimidated. You got
Yeah, I
anything
moved.
else?
I've intimidated. I don't have any of my spells or abilities. I'm spent. I now have chains. I'm a barbarian.
X-Tech,
Yes.
give me an Arcana check, please.
Okay. There is something here you want us to notice.
You notice that Banjo has been doing exactly what you told him to do. Drop magic stones into the mouth of this thing every 50 seconds or so. You also realize he has no concept of time or counting above sort of 10 or 15. So the pile of stones is almost quartered, so 3/4 down, and he has just been dropping in stones. You see him grab a stone, he drops it in. He sort of looks at Thorn, drops another stone, wanders over, grabs a stone, wanders back, looks at Thorn, drops
Banjo.
another stone in. The problem is not that he has been doing this. The gigantic cogs on either side of you, which you think are part of the driving force of this vehicle, are definitely spinning faster than you recall them first spinning, but they're getting to the point where they're spinning so quickly that you can see vast amounts of black smoke just burning around them.
Oh no.
It's difficult to tell because this entire area is smoky anyway, but it definitely looks as if they are spinning way faster than they should have ever been spun, if you so will. That's what you're noticing.
Do I think I can do anything about this?
Well, with your Arcana check, it's almost as if there's too much magic now invested in this space.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a regulator of some kind. There has to be something, some way of discharging this energy. You're not entirely sure. Give me a perception check.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm on fire!
You are. As you're looking around, you can see through the open door to where Thorn is standing that there are several very large harpoons, which under normal circumstances would just be dismissed as gigantic harpoons. However, from your vantage point, one of them just happens to rock over. It tilts from one side to the other as May the Mad rockets through this crystalline field. And as it does, you notice that it has arcane runes engraved upon the shaft of the harpoon, which does seem odd.
Yes. Is there any way of like seeing out, or are these just firing through slits? Like, can you aim
haven't
them...
been upstairs yet, so you're not entirely sure how you would fire these, but yes, not from down here.
Yeah, no. Right. Messiah, you have to go upstairs now.
And do what?
You need to start firing the harpoons. Otherwise, this thing is going to start burning very quickly.
It has been getting
Good.
warmer in here. You now realize, Nazaya.
Go. Ixtec sort of rushes upstairs.
Okay, you're rushing upstairs? With
I'm rushing
anything?
upstairs.
You're just going upstairs? What are you doing upstairs?
I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to go to where I have a visual on the massive spider thing.
As you come upstairs, you have a visual on the massive spider thing?
Yes. Do I think that I'm somewhere where it can see me? Like, do I have to,
No,
I have to step
you're
outside,
inside at
right?
the moment.
Yes. Can I step outside?
Of course you can. Out onto the landing next to the giant ballista?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's what you're
I
doing?
want to just
Yeah?
throw something at it. Although maybe I'd have to do that next turn. I'm going to need to do a lot of things here. Yeah.
May,
Yeah, that's fine.
you are driving along. You can see out the door. There's stuff going on, but you can't really see where the spider is.
D'accord.
You can continue on your journey, but you realize, because you're driving so well, that either you're going to circle back now from where you came in order to stay in these shards of salt, or you are going to break out onto the open salt plain. It's just not big enough for you to continue staying in here without basically doing a 90 degree. You realize now another 90 degree puts you almost back on the same route that you took escaping from Fort Knucklebone.
And I don't have wing mirrors on this thing.
Sadly not yet invented. No. And besides, this is Avernus. Why would you have wing mirrors unless they were, reversed and objects in the mirror are smaller than they actually are?
Right, that would be comforting now.
That would be, yes.
I wouldn't mind that. I am going away. I am going away. Away is the direction that I am going. I'm going to continue to go away.
All right.
As
You're
I drive
driving,
forward.
you realize, so I'm actually going to get you to make that roll again, if you please.
Oh, yeah, that goes.
Because you realize that this vehicle, it's going faster than it was last round. Like, significantly faster. But smoke is now starting to billow out underneath your feet from a grating. And this weird burning smell kind of smells like outside, but it smells fresher. if one could describe it as that.
Like outside, but new.
Yeah, yeah. So please give me your acrobatics check with disadvantage.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Please don't make me do that.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. The vehicle...
And the right one to be driving this machine.
Yeah. The vehicle, you're pulling hard, you tug left, you tug right. You do clip one of these salt structures. Oops. And there's a ripping, wrenching sound. You all hear it across the decks. But yes, it's not long. It doesn't last for long. There's no real major effect, as it were.
At this speed, nothing lasts for long.
No, it does not. It definitely does not. The creature looks at you, Jormund, and then it makes a single attack against you. Boop. This massive, meaty arm swings out and hits you.
Ow.
You take 10 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
But as it slaps against you, dozens of hands extend from the meaty part and just grip you. You are now officially grappled.
Oh no! No! Oh no, that's bad.
Its other arm, it has not... you're not sure what it's seen because it has eyes everywhere. Its other forearm, so now it's only running forward on 6 legs, its other forearm just slams into the side, or it tries to slam into the side anyway, of the craft itself, the actual vehicle itself. And it hits, I believe, let me just double check. I really should have that up. Its armor class, no, it bashes against the side of it. You all hear this incredible impact. Very different from the salt crystals, which was a ripping sound. This is more like a definite whumping, whacking sound, but it fails to deal any damage against the entire thing. The creature itself, because of Mhaire's amazing running skills and powers, it fails its dexterity check as it is busy running next to the craft. Jormund, you watch with delight as you see it's busy sort of loping to keep up with the vehicle. It's busy smacking at it. It's busy attacking it. Then there's a shriek as one of these large salt crystals just pierces its underside, ripping it open. Ooh. And I think, Janet, you can roll for me. Please, would you roll 60-10 damage as one of these salt crystals guts this beast?
I will roll that for you. I don't mind doing that.
I'm very glad that you're good at driving these things.
Okay, I can do that. Wait, I got 5 or I've got 10?
You got what did I say? 5?
You said 6.
6. So why do you ask if you got 5 or 10?
Because when I right click on it, Fantasy Ground gives me the option of 5 or 10.
No, so just left click on it. So pick it up, and then right click 4 times. 5 times.
Magic.
It's not magic.
Grounds,
it's
ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, and I'm dropping this on. Oh, he's got a name.
Yes, but you can just drop it into because if you drop it on him, it won't mean anything. So
no,
drop it into the chat box.
I did that twice already.
This great big gout of bile, black as night, spills out.
Nice.
33 damage, ripping it open and seeming to cause it to stumble and limp forward. Nazaya
grabs the harpoons.
Yes.
And runs upstairs. So
lovely.
5,
I'm going to move
10.
you upstairs. Yeah, you get upstairs with the harpoons.
Oh, not that one, not that one. Ah, too many maps. I got it. Yes. And then she skids out next to Ixtec where the ballista is. And there comes the moment where she probably realizes that she didn't learn how to use a ballista because you can't backstab with it. Or you shouldn't. And she's an assassin. So,
the important thing is that you fire it, not that you hit.
This probably works like a Like a crossbow, right?
Yes,
So
like a crossbow. Just
she's winching it and putting.
All right,
in
next
there.
round.
I guess it takes my whole action.
It does, yes, it does indeed. The only one left downstairs now with this little red cap who's continuing to drop stones into the mouth.
yeah,
of
I
this
realised I forgot to tell him
thing.
to
Yep,
stop doing that.
you did. It's just you, Thorn. We go back to the map.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You're what are you doing?
Following orders.
I can see what he's doing, right? And the
Yeah,
machine's going crazy. And
Yeah.
can I roll insight to see?
What are you trying to figure out?
Trying to figure out if this is normal.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Roll well.
Having spent many centuries in a laboratory, you have no idea whether or not this works. No, you're not sure. This is completely foreign to you. There's vast amounts of black smoke. Stuff does seem to be spinning crazily fast, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's difficult to tell. The skull is crackling with arcane energy, definitely. X-Tech didn't seem too bothered, so...
Okay, well, that's a cue then. I'll leave it there. I'll just do this. Banjo, this red cap thing.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna lumber upstairs. Can I move up to so I can see the creature?
You can. I will take you upstairs quickly. Yes, you can indeed see Nazaya working this massive ballista, Ixtec standing, looking up at the creature, and yes, you have continued. You can see this massive flesh spider outside.
Oh, right. Okay. How much movement do I have left? Just
if you want to do a double action.
Okay.
Because you're at the maximum now.
So I'm behind the grate.
It's actually an open doorway.
Okay, and the wall is next to me?
Correct.
Positioning is important for what I'm trying to do.
So yes, so there are the solid grey section. Let me zoom in here for those of you that want to see exactly what's going on here. You've got the solid grey section. These are the walls, and then the sort of graty grey stuff are doors that have lifted up to allow for access onto the walkway outside.
Okay, so I'm going to expend one charge of my staff to reach out with it and slam it into the side, or into the front of where Nazaya is sort of standing, and Iztek is sort of standing.
Yes.
And I kind of want to, in a diagonal direction, pointing right at the creature, use a charge from my staff to create a 60-foot tree.
Okay. A 60-foot tree.
It's very thin. It's only 5 foot thick, so it would pass between them.
Okay.
But it's
this is
60
a vertical. This is a tree out the side, lying on its side.
Yep.
So
And
like
it's 60 foot
a
long.
lance shooting out.
Yeah, it's probably not going to do any damage. It's a tree, but it happens instantly, and it creates a tree. So...
I love that your character has like surprise tree effect. That's awesome.
Suddenly foliage. Yes, I think that there's definitely surprise going on. So where is the base of the tree? Because it's
you
lying
see that
flat.
corner of the wall? Yeah,
Yes.
the corner of the wall
Yes.
is basically it's there, just pointing.
So it's
diagonally.
not inside the room with you. It's just on the outside.
Yeah,
and just suddenly tree shoots out. Okay.
It says like it doesn't say how long it takes to happen.
No, it's instantaneous.
When
If
actually
that's...
it happens. I don't think it was ever intended for this purpose.
Dungeons and Dragons was never intended for this purpose, but that's why we play it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it transforms into a healthy tree, The tree is 60 foot tall and has a 5-foot trunk. The branches at the top spread out into a 20-foot radius.
How fast are we going right now?
Yes. No, I am doing all kinds of calculations in my head. It doesn't describe the type of tree.
Nope.
So it's not a poplar or a birch or an ash.
No.
Or
Is it large?
Well, I asked this question, and I hate to geek out here, but it actually determines the weight of the tree.
Yes, of
Poplars
course.
are very light, whereas oak are very heavy. So you got this 60-foot tree of a 5-foot radius trunk or diameter.
Diameter.
Diameter. All right. No, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Fantastic. This mega tree shoots out. I'm going to give you an give me an intelligence check. No, wait. I changed my mind. Give me a nature check.
This is going to lever us off this balcony.
Oh, this is going to cause all sorts of chaos and mayhem. So give me a nature check to aim your tree.
I have got a 6.
Badly, apparently, is the direction that you aim it in. It's like, and grow! And so it grows. It appears that you have chosen wild fig as your particular tree, which means that it just has branches going off in all different directions, root systems that are as wide as sails of sailing ships. This mega tree just expands outwards. I need Ixtec and Nazaya. I need you both to please give me dexterity saving throws as Bushius Maximus suddenly grows.
Oh, well, Nazaya's fine.
That was in
I'm fine.
Nazaya is absolutely fine.
Molly.
Nazaya gets a natural 20 there. Ixtec gets a 13. Nazaya, are you going to make an acrobatics check to see if you can catch Ixtec?
Absolutely.
All right.
I imagine this kind of being like it's slightly slapsticky as Nazaya bends down to inspect how this thing is working. Tree goes like
Ixtec goes, what?
And then Nazaya tries to grab onto Ixtec. Acrobatics,
Grab my
you said.
chain.
Yeah, acrobatics check.
My safety chain.
Well,
12 is enough.
yeah.
Yeah, don't die.
You do grab Ixtec's safety chain.
Yes. I grab Ixtec's kitty leash and hold them back in. That is what?
Ixtec, you need to give me a perception check, please, as you're dangling over the side of this vehicle, these massive metal wheels throwing up bits of ice crystal in all directions. The back wheel, you're fairly certain should be doing what the front wheel is doing, which is just rotating over and over and over in a nice steady fashion. The back wheel is doing this as it's spinning around and around and around and around in circles, getting faster and faster and faster.
Oh no.
The tree does its thing. It shoots out. There is a gigantic creature which is going to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage as tree. Suddenly tree, it completely fails. Jormund, you watch as these arms and flesh legs and things just suddenly come a cropper as bits of old wild fig splinter and shatter around it and in it and on it, in all different directions. I'm going to say, Caeora, you can roll 7d10 damage.
The tree is also counts as magical. Because it's created with transmutation magic, so it exerts.
It hurts everything. It does hurt everything.
7.
7d10.
That in the book, how much damage the tree does?
No.
Sudden magical tree.
Is that in Descent into Avernus?
Oddly enough, they didn't include a death by tree in Avernus'.
And is this only damage for a fig tree? I mean, what happens?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
If it was a poplar, it would be far less, but you get nice paper out of it. Yeah.
What about a fir tree? Would that have been
Pointier.
Never mind.
More
Pointier,
Nancy.
but warmer.
Yeah.
So
Next supplement
this-
by Guy will be
First-
things you never thought would be a weapon,
Yes.
but you need to roll damage anyway.
What happens when you breathe in a player? What happens
Trees
when
and
you
frying
attack
pans.
somebody with a tree?
Yes. What type of tree? This is all important. Now,
Roll for
May.
tree.
I don't even know where the initiative is anymore. It's gone all over the place. It's just lost. May, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please, because suddenly there is an extra 23 tons of tree hanging out the side of your vehicle.
I'm sorry.
So there's been a lot of drama on that side,
There
and I'm
has
assuming
been.
when I heard the whomp,
Yes.
I could tell that which side it came from. So on this
Yes.
turn, I'm going to be turning diagonally away from where all the drama is coming from. But I will give you that dexterity saving throw first to see if I am still standing up to do that.
Agent
Boom.
of chaos.
Oh, that was just a dexterity check. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was wrong. That was wrong.
Okay.
That was
That's
correct.
Oh,
Okay, you are still indeed standing. You
the
counter for sudden tree. I'm just going to do a quick little check here. There is, however, a matter of physics in play, for lack of a better word. The vehicle, you pull hard to the right to counterbalance for this tree bouncing off of the side of the vehicle and disappearing into this collection of fleshy monsterousness. It does not have enough strength to resist suddenly getting half a tree or 10 foot of tree onto it and then ripped off and away from it. So there is, for a moment, Thorn, Nazaya, and Ixtec, you watch as the back of the tree takes out this large chunk of rooftop. Jormund, you are watching this whole thing just play out beneath you. And then you realize the back of the tree, which has now been wrapped up in the legs of that flesh beast, has effectively become fulcrumed off of its foreleg and spun out underneath you, and it rips through the bottom half of this wall that you are standing on.
oh no. That we're all standing on.
Yes, it rips out, you can't see it because it's in black, but it rips out this whole chunk of wall here. I need a dexterity saving throw from you, please.
From everyone?
No, just from Jormund at the moment.
What are you doing to my new toy?
You're still
Terrible
dangling
thing.
from the side, Ixtec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting for my turn.
Like
19.
a pro, you sidestep as your vehicle is sideswiped by tree. That was Thorn's turn. Jormund, standing,
Okay.
there's bits, you can now see inside of that room underneath you. There are these rents of rusted metal at your feet.
Okay, so to get a good scope around what's occurring at the moment, there is a large 60-foot tree angled, I'd say, diagonally backwards towards the aft of our ship, which has crashed into the rear cabin of the upper deck.
It's completely entangled. It's completely entangled. With,
But there's
with-
a main trunk, as it were, that is sort of underneath or like sort of entwined with the spider.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay, cool.
Once was a healthy growing tree.
Cool. In addition, I am currently being grappled by said giant spider.
I forgot about that. Yes. Yes, you are. And you realizing that as it's rolling backwards, it's going to be lifting you off of that craft any moment now.
Okay. I'm going to use this opportunity to reach into my my pocket pouch
Sure, as one does.
for something,
Yeah.
which I'll come back to in a second. But I will yell out an order to Ixtec. Ixtec, tell Miss LaRouge to veer right and then pull the second lever from the the lever left of center. Pull it. Please hold. Pull it. Push it forward. Yes, left of center. Push that lever forward and veer right towards
Veer
the
right,
creature.
left to center, forward. Got it.
And I will basically brace to sort of let this thing pull me off the thing, because I'm not going to try to outstrength this thing. But my hope with this is that by veering towards the creature and braking suddenly at the speed we're going through, with the tree entangled at its feet, it's going to basically snap the branch and trip the whole bloody thing forward. As we suddenly apply the brake.
Please don't break my tree.
Your tree is
If we
in trouble.
Your
your
tree
tree-
is breaking the car.
Yeah, your tree didn't want to be there, Thorn. If any fate your tree has, that is on you.
Ixtech,
Yes.
you are being you're capable of pulling yourself up onto the side of this vehicle.
Yeah. I'm gonna move in here,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna go.
Yep.
May veer right and pull the lever to the left of the center forwards. And then I'm going to turn and sort of scream down the stairs, "Stop fueling the engine!"
Hi! It's what you hear from downstairs.
All right.
You doing anything else?
This massive amount of damage. Can I? Are there any other of these arcane ballista things?
Just the ones that
Around.
Nazaya brought up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm gonna head back downstairs and see how much damage this new hole has done, and if I can do anything about that.
All right. I will come back to you as you go downstairs. This entire lower section is now covered in black smoke. It's becoming difficult to breathe down here.
Yep.
Mademoiselle Lange.
Wait,
What do you do, madame?
I have my wheel.
Uh-huh.
I look at the levers in front of me.
Ah,
I
oui.
go. D'accord. Boom!
Which one do you pull?
Yeah, right. So the one to the left of the center, that is to say,
Uh-huh.
the second one from the left,
Uh-huh.
for there are four.
Sure.
So I push it forwards, as I have been told to do, and I steer right, as I have been instructed. I'm assuming that Jormund, who couldn't steer this thing in the right direction before, knows what he's doing. Who almost mashed me, knows what he's doing. Who created an extra window in the stable with the back end of this machine, knows what he's doing. So
Some figuring out.
what I am told.
So you are pushing it forward.
That's what I was told to do.
Jormund, what do you expect this lever to do when you push it forward?
Apply the brakes.
Right.
So turn the brakes on.
Whilst turning a vehicle hard right.
Oh, we're going to
Yes,
Tokyo
yes.
Drift, a war machine.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't expect it. Well, because
That's
the
one
creatures-
option. That's
Thank
one
you.
option.
creatures there.
Sunglasses
I mean,
on.
admittedly, I didn't express how hard, right?
Yes.
But I
Yes, there was
expected it
that.
to sort of more
was
hit
that.
flush
That-
against
that-
the creature before
Well-
braking, rather than the 90-degree turn before,
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows?
Mademoiselle
She can't see the
Rouge,
creature, can
would
she?
you please give me an acrobatics check? You pulled hard right first, then pulled the lever.
What? I did that.
That is true. All right. As you pull hard right, there is a loud, grating, screeching sound, as this device was not meant to do 90-degree turns. But you hold it steady without too much of a problem. Its back wheel
We need that.
Oh!
somehow rolls in alignment for a moment with this entire thing turning. You then apply the brakes.
Like driving an infernal shopping trolley.
It is. It really is.
Hanging onto the side.
You-
I don't know what's happening.
You apply the brakes, and down below deck, Ixtech, you watch as those massively spinning things which are belching out black smoke, these large metal clamps suddenly just push down on them.
Oh.
And there is this moment where the entire vehicle stops dead.
I took the hook and I just hooked myself on.
Well, that's what your spiritual self is really wanting to do roundabout now. It's really wanting to do that right now. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you're not sure, it doesn't. Well, you don't get that far because you watch as of the 4 pins, 2 of them, the arms that are holding onto those pins, suddenly explode outwards, blowing out from either side of the interior of the craft. And immediately those turbines start spinning again as the brakes have just been, they completely shot their housing and have burst out of the sides of the vehicle. And we'll be back next week when we try and figure out what the hell this means for our team.
Oh, wow.
There is no afterlife tonight, as we've got another show to record. Just to remind those of you who might have joined late, there is no show next week, as there is a charity 24-hour stream. You should definitely join in to check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. The following week will be a recording of the show that we will be doing shortly. And so please, please join in for that as this chaos and shenanigans continues. The week after that, the 23rd or whatever it is, we're back on track, regular scheduling again. We thank you for your understanding. Massive thank you, massive thank you to all of our sponsors. WorldAnvil.com, providing all of our characters, information and world information. Great world aggregator, WorldAnvil.com. Dungeon Fog for creating these crazy maps of this crazy ship, which is being destroyed as fast as it possibly can be. And for Fantasy Grounds, for giving us some interesting rolls tonight. Not so many 20s and 1s tonight, I noticed, which is probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing. Anyway, we thank all of our sponsors and, of course, Dungeons & Dragons for enabling us to do this in the first place and commissioning us for Season 2. Big thank you to them. So, yes, all of you who are at the Luca Games Festival, there's a massive D&D event happening there, already taking place over this weekend, so see if you can catch the end of that on Sunday. But anyway, until next week, or the week after, I should say, from all of us, thank you for watching. Of course, thank you to my players.